Hi, this is Ross Payton. Here's episode 3 of RPPR After Hours. We're looking at Darktek, a source book for Dark Conspiracy, and Warrens of the Ratmen, a 3E D&D supplement about Ratmen, weirdly enough. We also talk about the 2016 Super Bowl and 50 Shades of Grey, a blast from the past. In RPPR news, Patreon now allows you to gift memberships to other people. If you know someone who would enjoy RPPR, consider getting them a subscription to RPPR. There'll be a link in the show notes. I recently posted Mega Dungeon Meandering Episode 3, and that was a lot of fun. I'll also be posting the beta playtest rules of my new action horror RPG Labyrinth Signal with an adventure soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the episode.
Hey, this is Ross Payton. Roleplaying Public Radio. This is RPPR After Hours. This is episode 2, All Hail Left Shark. Big
yeah,
guess.
you can totally guess where we're going with this.
Yeah, we're going to.
We dance to our own rhythm.
Yeah. The Super Bowl happened recently, as of this recording, and we, of course, the true hero was Left Shark in the Katy Perry.
Yeah, it totally was.
Not those athletes who
doing sports
the height
stuff.
of their careers and. Including like that clown catch right at the end, but no,
son of a bitch.
No, it's all about Left Shark. But before we get into that, we do of course also have some reviews, some book reports, some classic under. You're already shaking your head, Kale.
Yeah, I am. I know what's coming.
Well, you didn't have to read anything this week. So.
I did not have to read anything this week, so I am in a bad.
You will have to look at the art, though, to help describe it for the listeners.
You can't make
You did sign a contract, man. You got to.
He can intentionally blind himself.
So the two game supplements that I scrounged up from Metagames used game section.
Thank you, Metagames used game section.
Yes. Wait, I have to pause here. Is there a comment section behind the paywall? Or
Yes.
People just get it? Okay.
Yeah, they can.
All right, good. I can't wait for the moment when we lampoon some terrible book, and it's like
This is my
the
job.
text of some fan, and they just lose their goddamn mind. I am just fingers crossed for that moment.
All right. Well, so
Well, if
I'll
it's,
start
one of
looking
the,
for that.
if it's one of these books, I would want to interview that person.
I would be surprised.
Yeah.
Like
I want
if
to know.
Dark Conspiracy source book Darktek, and that's Darktek.
Because that's how it's spelled
Yeah.
in the print
Somebody
user.
somebody just spit taked.
If it's good enough for Shatner, it's for Tech Wars. It's good enough for Dark
That thing
Conspiracy.
didn't exist, Ross. You know that. That was a
Even in 2002, the spelling of tech as T-E-K was really
Well,
falling out of fashion.
That's
That should
actually
have been early
That's
90s.
really
2002 is
behind the
for-
game.
2002 is actually for Vigil Watch, Warrens of the Ratmen, a Scarland supplement, which is Tom's book review. This is actually an earlier book.
You know, Ross,
1991.
Oh, no, that's peak.
Okay.
Yeah.
No C Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I will say, Ross, I almost kind of wish I had gotten something as good as what Caleb reviewed, because this I couldn't summon up any bile because it wasn't that bad.
Okay. Well,
I wish I could have the rage, but I do not.
We will look at it. I gave you guys a whole stack, and you chose that one out of that big. stack.
Yeah, I did. It
Yeah,
seemed like something I would do.
Yeah. All right.
Besides, there's what wasn't about to. I might have picked what Caleb did, but he had his heart, soul, and body set on that.
I don't think Caleb looked at it. He's just like, whatever.
I read.
Okay.
I read parts.
No, when you were choosing them from the stack,
Oh, you gave me that.
Okay. All right.
I didn't select it from a stack. You're like, you're reading this one.
It's only when you realize you were reading a book
But,
with Nyla
yeah.
Hotep, and it's like,
Ross, why
shit.
don't you do your review first?
Yeah, well, of course. So Darktek is supplement for Dark Conspiracy, which is from GDW, Games Designers Workshop.
Hey,
Hey!
They are
assholes.
also the publishers of Twilight 2000, and Dark Conspiracy was their horror game, but it used the same system as Twilight 2000. And Twilight 2000, I remember, had the same system where you had a career. You generate your your character by like he did this for 4 years and then he did this for 4 years, and that's why my guy who's fighting my player character is a 44-year-old divorced alcoholic who was a helicopter pilot, a medic, and a sniper. And
I never got to play full on Twilight 2000, but did that have kind of like the crazy life paths that Cyberpunk did, or was it something different?
It was kind of similar.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't you chose them. I don't think you rolled for them.
Okay.
Oh, that's too bad. I love Cyberpunk. Where you're all like, this year, what life event? You had a lot of sex this year.
Well,
that was a thing.
And also, Cyberpunk gave us Sky Parents, so we can never forget.
Damn
that.
you, Sky Parents! Why did you sell me for money?
So in Dark Conspiracy, you're a group of like these X-File kind of people or rebels who are fighting the Dark Ones, who are these secret conspiracy of aliens from another dimension who are trying to take over Earth, and they have lots of monsters. I don't know.
So is this like our world? And
Yeah, it's our
taking
world.
Place in the shadows.
It's exactly in the shadows, which was very, very chic back in the late '80s and early '90s.
The war that nobody knows is going on.
It was all the rage back then. The Darktek is basically like gadgets and gear for both the bad guys and the player characters. And the first thing is Darktek itself, again spelled with a K. And Darktek is mostly this bioorganic stuff, like alien symbiotes and like pod type devices that you can clone yourself in or rejuvenate
That
yourself.
looks like a sarcophagus from Stargate SG-1.
Well, it's called a cloner, and this is circuit. And every piece of gear, by the way, has its own
a
illustration.
Mitch Hedberg joke comes around. What that job? What's it do? Keeps things fresh. It's refreshing. Going on break.
Then you'll love the antidoter.
You cannot put an R at the end of that word.
Can you guess what it does?
It poisons you. That's what it
It
does.
provides antidotes.
Wait, does it do the opposite of poison you?
Yes, it cures poisons that your character receives. And they have an example where a Medusa bites you.
And you're not stoned?
A Medusa, apparently they just, snakeheads bite you or something. And you get, you're bitten by a Medusa with a poison rating of 1. The antidote will require 1 phase to devise an antidote. During the second phase, the poison will begin to take an effect, normally doing 3d6 damage because of 3 hits, but the antidote will have reduced this damage to 2d6. It has 1 phase to secrete the antidote. On the next phase, the character will suffer only 1d6 damage from the poison. After that, the levels of the antidote in the body's character's bloodstream will completely negate any further damage. So that's it. Doesn't like make you immune to poison. It just gradually kind of like you're not going to take as much damage.
Yeah, that shouldn't be there.
So, somewhere in the dusty, abandoned offices of GDW, they apparently have built a machine called a verber, where they put nouns in, and they come out as verbs that are also nouns that do that verb. The advanced science lost to time.
Well, they also have the rejuvenator.
Okay, well,
that came out of the verber.
They also have graftables, which are like animal limbs that you graft onto people.
That sounds like a kid snack.
Graftable.
No. What was?
And then we also have erectors, which are bioorganic buildings that you can build that are fueled by dead people.
Well, okay, with the graftables,
Yeah.
what was the name of that clothing line that you had the 2 animals together? Basically, you matched them because they had the pictures of the animals.
I don't know. I don't buy those sort of things.
You always knew it was popular in Garanimals. That's what they were.
And a sleeper. And a running box. And a sniffer. And a spectral eye. And what else? A viner.
Okay, can we go back to erectables?
Erectors.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm getting my nonsensical suffixes confused.
Yeah.
So it's a building made of meat, right?
The erectors are growing fibroid lattice that creates quick structural frames for darkling buildings, the walls of which can then be fleshed out with a viner. Darklings are the lieutenants of the Dark Ones.
I just want to be clear. So this is our world, right?
Yeah.
In the shadow. Buildings can't hide in the shadow. It's a building. Like, nobody's going to be like, you seen that?
It's a meat
Tower of sentient meat off Grand?
No.
By the,
Well, they
By
have,
the Del Taco? Wasn't there yesterday.
They have an example of where it'd be used in ancient ruins in the Mayan jungle.
Because it won't be noticed there.
A trio of investigators, and I love this because this goes into the fashion photo aspect, because they have these 2-page spreads with color artwork depicting a bunch of different items and things being used by characters in the setting. So a trio of investigators discusses exactly how close to approach a secret jungle complex under construction. None of them have ever encountered an erector or viner before, and the twitching remains of humans being consumed to feed those biological builders have convinced the woman with the microfilament machete that a closer view would be unwise. Her companions carrying the survival kit on his back listens impassively, while the third member of the party films the site with a microcam.
Okay, I'm kind of curious.
This is the microfilament machete.
His microcam is
A normal camcorder.
a normal camcorder.
Yeah.
It is not micro.
And the
In
microfilament
1991, that was very micro. Thank you very much.
and the microfilament blade, I know it's supposed to be a lightsaber, but it's actually kind of predicting
it has
that
a little
beam.
ball to let you know where the end of the blade
Well,
is.
that's that beam sword from No More Heroes. That's
Yeah.
what that is. But I have a question, though, because you said this is in the Amazon, right?
It just says it's just secret jungle. So
We'll say South America or someone. If you're constructing the meat tower and this living monument of flesh, shouldn't it just be dying from the malaria? Because all the mosquitoes have to be attracted to this thing.
It's
that's
dark.
a good point.
It's dark aliens.
That does seem like a good point.
It seems like a bad place to put your secret organic tower.
I will say that a sentence that starts, none of them had ever seen an erector before. That ended really well. For most sentences start like that, it's going to take a dark turn real fast. But I'm pretty pleased. With
I don't
where
know,
it went.
dude. If I saw an antidote in a
Actually,
catalog,
we need to look at the
totally-
author. It's the person who wrote 50 Shades
I'd
of
order
Grey.
It's Charles E. Gannon.
We'll put him as an inspiration.
I don't know. I didn't look up his bio or anything like that. But the thing is about the antidoter, by the way, is now all these biological devices, biomechanical devices, have hidden costs or very, very dangerous costs. So, there's downsides to not having some kind of resistance to poison. So the antidoter, for example, has the user cost feed too. See, some of the costs are like control. A character with this device can be more susceptible to dark minion empathetic attacks, so you can be mind controlled more easily. Or detection, they can detect you more easily. That makes sense. But then there's feed and recharge, and feed is the most fucked up of it. Some Darktek equipment operates by draining the user's own life force, causing an intense craving for meat to restore the energy that has been lost. The feed rating for such an item indicates that the kilograms of fresh raw meat dead less than 2 hours that the user is compelled to consume for each minute or fraction thereof the item is used. The total feed rating requirement is found by multiplying the feed rating by the number of combat turns, 30-second periods, the Darktek device was used. This results equals the number of kilograms of normal meat that must be consumed before the device is satiated and the user is freed of the feeding compulsion.
I have the obvious solution for this, though. If you're down on power, just, stand in a buffet line at the erector.
But no, but it's dead less than 2 hours. And there's like literally an entire column of text explaining just what qualifies as raw meat. For example, as a rule of thumb, the amount of usable meat to be found on a creature is equal to half its estimated body weight. Heart, liver, and kidneys and brain count as 10 times their actual weight for the purposes of determining their feed value. And that total equals 10% of the other meat.
This is like pre-smartphone days, so you're like buying anatomy textbooks, your
zoology
Well,
test.
here's
calculator.
So the example is just beautiful because, all right, for example, a 600 kilogram cow would yield 300 kilograms, kilogram cow would yield 300 kilograms of meat, plus 30 kilograms of key organs, which in terms of feed value would be the equivalent of 300 kilograms of regular meat. So in other words, a 600 kilogram cow gives you 600 kilograms of feed.
Thank Thank you, book.
And then there's like another half column of text explaining
It's
what.
like Common Core math.
If Bob uses an antidoter and decides he needs to eat 2 kilograms of meat, and he finds a ferret worth 1 kilogram.
Thanks,
of meat.
Obama.
My God, no. This is.
But
this
it also
Lane's
describes
origin.
how like feeding is not genteel. Can take the place of rate of 1 kilogram per combat turn. That's 1 kilogram of meat per 30 seconds. You just
Jesus.
A character may only consume up to 10% of its own mass before having to cease feeding for at least 1 hour. This feeding rate is quite extraordinarily. And to a bystander, such a creature will seem quite bestial, since they're devouring more food than they should be capable of holding within their stomachs at one time. And if you don't eat, you lose hit points. You actually start to die as the device eats you. But I love that they have all these rules to explain, yeah, you gotta eat raw meat, dude. It sucks. But the other thing is recharge. And it can either be recharging through electricity or through life force. And so they either give you a watts per minute charge, which indicates the number of watts per minute for each usage the device consumes. Something with 10,000 watts needs to charge from a 1 watt source for 10,000 minutes or a 10 kilowatt source for 1 minute. So,
But I'm actually kind of wondering: are they talking about just a general charge from a battery, or they're actually a full one through a capacitor? Because there's 2 different ones on charging time. Take that inane details of your.
Such devices are generally easy to recharge because instead of having a fixed size receptacle, most have a clear membrane which becomes penetratable in the presence of an electric current. The lead from any electric source can be advanced through the membrane into a conductive biogelatin. Upon reaching full charge, the biomechanism releases a chemical into the gel, rendering it non-conductive, thereby ending the recharging session. Typically, a small bioluminescent indicator shows the current level of life or charge. And the other thing is, life force. It eats hit points. This is how many hit points per usage it uses. It'll suck from you. So that's how it works. Biogel. Non-conductive biogel. So that's for the Darktek, which is just there's another one, Face Dancer, which is basically flesh that you can use to make Mission Impossible disguises, and it'll eat your life force. So
It's a facer.
It's a face dancer.
No, you obviously read that wrong.
It ends in an R. Face dancer. Let's see here. What else? So the running box is also this gives you a boost of physical attributes, but you can get up to feed 5. So just eating 5 kilograms of meat in a minute after using that, apparently. Oh, and then we have another fashion photo, which is a group of experiments. Apparently, those people with graftables who have been put in some sort of concentration camp by the ETs in their hover discs and their warbots who are putting down...
And this is a secret war?
Yeah, apparently.
Actually, I'm not convinced that is absolutely not cover art for Escape from LA. So
Escape from LA 3. Dr. Moreau's pissed because they're all animal people. There's virophages, empathic viruses.
Okay, please elaborate.
An empathic virus is actually a community organism which has an empathetic link with an individual Dark One or Dark Minion. The nature of that link is such that it increases the range at which the Dark One or Dark Minion can exert an empathetic influence over an infected individual. So there's viral assassins, viral incapacitators, viral mutators. They're just diseases. There's also the viral Ravenizer? There we go. Ravenizer.
What? Damn it, Ferber! Someone break into the dark ruins of GDW offices and destroy that infernal machine.
Oh, and
God knows what it's produced.
Left to its own device.
Eating our nouns. Making them verbs, but also nouns.
How many Webster's dictionaries have been sacrificed to this thing?
Oh, you're gonna love the next section, which is about electronic devices, human-built technology.
Oh, God.
Because you can't have a gearbook without new gadgets for the PCs. But there are things like what they thought we would have in 2000 in 1991. So there's cable tap, there's the CompuAid, which is a computer audio input device, is an add-on expert system that allows you to speak into it. And this is what it looks like. It even has a...
Oh, God, everything looks like a cash register.
And it only
like an old cash register.
Okay, how many, does it actually have its weight on there,
At
or do
that
we
one
just
grocery
guess?
store in town that doesn't take debit.
1.8 kilograms.
No. That's at least 50 pounds,
Ross,
if not
quickly,
more.
find me something with E in front of it.
Let's see here.
Oh, God, the laptop.
They have a heads-up IP. They have a hollow web. Does that count?
That was good, I guess.
It's not an E.
Well, there's the CompuNav, which is their GPS system with its own little radar dish or satellite.
That looks like the most complicated battleship setup I've ever seen.
It probably makes waffles.
And
You better take a picture of that and put it up with it. It is a honest to God waffle iron.
It's 5 kilograms and costs $21,000. And then they have basically a stylus or a light tablet.
$21,000 in
CompuPad.
1991
Yeah.
money? Damn.
Let's see here.
Apparently, hunting alien creatures out to destroy mankind is a rich man's sport.
Oh, really?
It's like mountain climbing or...
Okay, so there are
Why do you
some.
think XCOM's
So
the only
under the
person who gets
Darklings,
involved?
there are the ETs, and the ETs are the Greys, but some of them are renegade and they help the humans. And some of the gear in this book are like products of secret alliances between humans and renegade ETs. And so we get things like the Distorter, which is a product of joint human and renegade humanoid ET technology, which just stops teleportation. And it's powered by a car battery. So whenever you activate it, they can't dimensionally port in. But it's the size of a large suitcase and is equipped with shoulder and hand carry straps. See?
That's a DJing table.
And
That's
it
what
costs-
that is. You're going to have Skrillex on the edge.
It weighs 9.5 kilograms, and it costs $2.3
See,
million.
no, it's... Yeah,
What's it do? It distorts stuff.
It's basically all of that. You don't want somebody pouring it in.
They also did the HoloWeb, which this is the one of the things I can't understand what the fuck this is actually used for. The HoloWeb is a dynamic holographic communications technology made possible by renegade human ET assistance to human technology. A HoloWeb is comprised of 2 discs, one above and one below the viewing area, each of which sprouts 4 long and 4 short projection wands towards the open space in between them. From some angles, this cluster of wands gives the device a web-like appearance. The device's discs and wands can generate a 3D moving holographic image. Holographic communication is possible, but each speaker must be inside what is referred to as a surround booth or a surround studio, since 360-degree data is required in order to produce a full 3D hologram. Because the data required for the projection of a HoloWeb image is so tremendous, very few HoloWeb units exist so far. Those that do are reserved for use by clandestine government agencies. It comes in 2 sizes, tabletop and room-sized. And so there's huge. They can record holograms, but they can only communicate with each other, and they're super expensive and secret. So
Because somebody wants to go Obi-Wan. We need your help.
maybe CNN bought them,
Yeah.
You
Will
ever
I
see
am.
Silicon Valley? That's one of the funniest scenes. Is one of the moguls is using like a holographic device. It keeps fritzing out, lagging.
Yeah, because honestly, what it looks like is just the worst Oculus Rift setup I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is the HoloWeb. I love the heads-up eyepiece, though. It has the word data.
Oh, that's what's there.
You think that's some artist just being pissy about the commission? He's like,
Yeah.
it's got data strolling. I'll give him data strolling to the eye. There you go. Give me my fucking money.
Probably. It looks like a miniature TV camera, like, the kind of you use for the local TV news, just strapped to his head.
It is
Oh, God.
pretty similar to Google Glass.
Because,
That's
yeah,
actually pretty
if you look at it, you can see the projector off the side. And
It's not even a heads-up
It's just
eyepiece, it's
a-
like a heads-eye monocle. Like, then there's the microcam, which costs $450 and weighs half a kilogram. Then the parasite system, which allows you to take over, which ETs use to allow to take over other human devices. So you have that. The portaphone, their version of what cell phones would look like in the future.
Yep.
Plan design.
There's just nothing you can say about that.
Fuck you.
Look at you, you've had your cell phone, telephone.
So those are just the communication gadgets, which are probably going to be mostly ignored, because we get to the really important section. The heart of any good horror game are the weapons, and I love this splash page because they have a separate little splash page for each little section. And so for weapons, there's a little paragraph text saying, an important element of horror is violence. Not so much the straightforward violence of the executioner's axe or the soldier's bullet, but rather the senseless brutality of the madman, the monstrous cruelty of the demon. In this chapter, you'll find devices that can do violence. Most have been specifically designed to serve that purpose, and to do so horrifically as possible. But a few are merely tools whose use have been warped. And then we have the art, which has a lizard Bigfoot attacking a policeman who is having an epileptic seizure.
Or the Yeti from the Black Lagoon.
I don't know.
I don't know what that is, but it's wow.
What is he doing to the guy? Like, he's not even touching the guy.
He's preparing to give him a sensual kiss.
Oh, no, actually, look at it. No. I actually see what's happening here. He has obviously turned on his lightsaber taser from Futurama. He got himself. This is just an alien who's walking by, sees he's about to faint, and is catching him.
50 scales of brown. I don't know.
Oh, sucks.
So what I love also, they bring back the Darktek, like there's bioorganic weapons you can use. But the thing is, they're shittier than the normal guns. They do more damage, but like here you have a bolter, which is a dark minion weapon quite popular among the dark elves.
Dark elves.
Fuck!
We have dark ones, darklings, and dark elves.
Apparently.
Can you give me a percentage of things in this book named I want you to run some stats on that for me.
At least 50%. But I love it because it shoots electrical bolts, but it's powered by
love.
No, powered by electricity. Recharge watts. 60 watts per minute to recharge it. It only has a magazine of 5 shots before you got to plug it back in. So, like, yeah, you can do more damage with your bolter, but then you got to charge it for fucking, like, 5 minutes.
Wow, this is only a 60-watt energy rifle?
Yes.
Wow.
60-watt energy rifle.
Man, I mean, I guess it's like...
So the guy with the fucking M16 is, like, going to keep shooting you. Like, it takes...
Well, I guess it's fair. I mean, the Terminator...
Kind of like one of those extension cable things behind you.
Well, I guess it's fair. I mean, in the Terminator, he said phase plasma rifle in a 40-watt range.
I thought it was 40 gigawatt or something.
It's 40 watt.
Okay. But yeah, so exactly.
Well, it doesn't help when the alien who's supposed to be attacking you is about as scary as your dad with the weed whacker.
But the Terminator has his own battery. He can just plug the rifle into his own, nuclear
Well, it
reactor.
was 40-watt range.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is that the range of the weapon?
No, that's just
This
how
is
many...
why they write books like this.
Yeah.
You're part of the problem. Just stop.
Then there's the combat environmental suit, which is essentially a head-to-toe Kevlar garment with some environmental seals. So you go
in case you want to suffocate to death.
You can breathe, but yeah, it's...
That wouldn't be very good for that secret jungle.
And then I love this, which I can't even really pronounce. The Deliquisser. Yes.
Deliquisser?
Deliquisser?
I don't even know.
D-E-L-I-Q-U.
Deliquisser.
But it has an R at the end of it.
E-R.
It does have an R at the end of it.
Of course it does.
What I love though is it shoots deadly energy things, which I'm not going to even bother explaining because you've heard enough explanation. But I love user cost recharge life force 2 per shot. It costs you 2 hit points per shot with this weapon. So like, why do we keep losing, Dark One Bob? Well, I don't know. Our soldiers keep dying because they keep shooting,
falling over when the weapons drain their
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I love another fashion photo, 2-page shot. So here we have a gang, a violent mob, such as this one, armed with mini saws, one-handed chainsaws. Now, they're raiding a corporate enclave, which is called a Dreamland. So hordes of security police, not just security guards or police, security police, are responding with tear gas. Or not even tear gas, with riot batons. And then there is a Bigfoot, which is this big-ass vehicle here, which looks really efficient to oversee them. And note, there's an Electro Star burning to the right, which is that car. So, they have a vehicle.
So I wonder if the SUX 9000 has better gas mileage than that.
Probably. Then they have exoskeletal armor, which is vacuum sealed and has armor.
The seal and the freshness.
Yeah.
Except it's totally not vacuum sealed because I can see his face.
Well, you can pull the helmet down. Jeez.
I'm sure.
And it costs $1.1 million. So, it weighs 35 kilograms. So then we have another fashion show. A woman trying to steal a folder pod, and a bolter from an Oni who's fighting two Medusas armed with spectral gatherer pistols. And the Oni is equipped with a vampiric sword. But she's getting attacked by a slaughter bot,
What the fuck?
I don't know what I'm looking at.
That's either a clam or...
Even if she escapes, the Darktek will leave a stain on her soul, is what how the little caption ends. So, there's slaughter bots.
So there's like Japanese demons and...
That's the thing about Dark Conspiracy is, from what I remember, they don't just have aliens and stuff like that. The Dark Ones are responsible for all our mythology of monsters and everything. So every mythological thing is really some Dark One minion. So Bigfoot, werewolves, vampires, everything. Leprechauns, probably.
So this was the Matrix Reloaded cop-out excuse before it existed.
Yeah. So then we have their minis. Then we have the Laze Blind. Hey, Laze Blinder. Oh man, that's a 2-for-1 because it's got Laze with a Z.
What's it do? It blinds people, but it does it with lasers.
It does actually. That you pretty much guessed it.
I want to call it the laser blinder. That's too long. God damn it! I'm the expert here.
Like, how drunk do I have to be?
And then we have the Resonator, which employs harmonic resonance to shatter inanimate objects. So, and it looks like a...
Wall.
Yeah. I don't know. What would you describe that weapon as, Tom or Q?
Can I forgo my pay for the episode just to have you stop?
I'll speed up a little.
Just please stop.
But I love that they also added sawed-off shotguns. Just out of all these Resonator and Laze Blinders and
alien
bolters.
tech.
Actually, no, I know what the
sawed-offs.
The Resonator looks like you stuck a harpoon into a jellyfish.
And the shotgun Derringer. Because that's
a thing. Yeah.
Vampiric swords, sonic stunners, spectral gatherers, which are every single weapon, every single item in here has its own art, which it looks like a stick thing with things on it.
Again, staggering production values.
Vehicles.
Yeah, vehicles. You have your planes. You have your airfield being attacked by ETs, and they're all going to die. But
Shadow War.
Yeah, this thing. Yeah, it seems like a very well publicized war.
Yeah.
It does.
The government has a great
the
spin
floater,
department.
both the small and large modular floater, because that seems, if I was capable of making these kind of devices, yeah, I'd just float on a disc.
There's literally no difference. It just has a different angle.
No, he looks like he could fit two on this one. See? He's just kind of crowding.
The floater sedan.
All right, so this is my favorite vehicle, though, which is the Space Swimmer, which is another Dark One thing, which is biomechanical spaceship, basically. And
why does it look like a modified whale shark?
It probably is. The thing, what I love about it is, they describe it can go super fast and go through space, blah 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 blah, and it can go in duration. The only limitation is food stores, and it can eat. It can get food through photosynthesis. Yeah. Photosynthesis. I don't know. I'm so excited. But it can eat any kind of organic molecule. So the thing is, it says if the swimmer cannot find out food outside itself, it will certainly make a meal of what's already inside. So this super advanced Dark One spaceship can possibly eat the people in it.
This is Lex. This is the Lex.
And so we're getting to the final section, Caleb, which is the robots. Because you have to have robots.
It's got to be all right.
So here are these build bots. Who do you think made this one?
Doozers.
Humans or aliens?
Yetis.
The aliens made this one. The build bot, which looks like a dozer or a tunneling machine with a little thing. Little
tank treads. They're adorable little tank treads.
And I'm assuming the
and
massively
it builds
organic...
and it repairs things.
Is that the version of a Mr. Handy on the last page? A housekeeping bot?
Yeah, there's a housekeeping bot. There's that. Because they have like several domestic. All the human built robots are like domestic, at least for the first couple of pages. But what I love is compare the build bot with the repair drone. So who do you think built the repair drone?
I'm guessing that's us.
Yeah,
because scorpions are the most trustworthy of
it's
mechanics.
a robot scorpion, but instead of a stinger on the end of its tail, it has a hand. This was built by humans in this setting. So how do you think that corporate design meeting went? So
I have the one.
All right.
Hey guys, we've got the robot arm for it, our design working, but that's the only thing right now. The rest of the treads are really out of shot. We cannot get any kind of funding from other departments, and they're refusing to ship out our parts. Well, just attach the motherfucker to the Scorpion bot. Well, why do we want to schedule the Scorpion bot? It'll still work, right?
We got them cheap after Motley Crue touring.
Yeah.
I bought them from a roadie on the side of I-95.
But that's like, it works. And it only blows up a quarter of the time. $50
a bag of shrooms.
It only blows up a quarter of the time.
Another one of the fashion photo things. Two humans and a renegade ET with their body armor and weapons. But the caption specifically notes that all those weapons and armor probably won't help with that giant-ass monster towering over nearby buildings. And again, Secret War.
Secret War!
Secret War. And also, the ET doesn't really look so much as a gray as that it has the most glorious helmet hair that ever existed.
And he looks like he's homeless.
Probably is.
That's why he's a renegade.
He's trying to take
He is an immigrant, Ross.
He's trying to take our jobs.
Be a little more.
And again, like the design's like, this is alien built, and this is human built. So the weird mechanical
Bug-looking
beetle,
thing.
is human. And this one,
That looks like what the
Hubble
Hubble. It looks like what the Hubble eventually evolved into.
Yeah, something like that. And then, wouldn't you trust your kids with the Spasmocker 4?
What is it?
Spasmocker.
No!
All right, I'm just going to describe this for the listeners. It's just a creepy alien robot standing over a crib
With black eyes.
with black eyes. Okay, what's the? It's literally a nanny.
Yes.
Why would you need that?
I don't know.
When would that come up in the game?
But it inevitably goes crazy and starts attacking kids, probably. Because actually the dark ones have things, those alien
Okay, also
parasites.
I'd like to add, a babysitter robot is $13.6 million.
Well, I would hope so.
Well, you need one night away from those brats.
Yeah, babysitter.
Isn't it worth it?
Oh my god.
Like, how would that be a sound investment other than just hiring a babysitter? Like, I mean, theoretically, the long term, you could build your babysitting robot and be like, yeah, well, I'm going to save in the long run because I never have to hire a babysitter. But who is your babysitter? Beyonce? What babysitter are you paying $13 million?
It's a long-term investment. You think you go out once a week, so that's like 5 hours a week. That adds up. So 200.
No, it does not. Your kid is 47 before you get that investment back.
What I really think is they probably aren't owned by individual parents, but there's probably a company like Babier, like Uber or something like that, but for robot babysitters.
Dude, the babysitter robot is more expensive than the war drone. The war drone is $11.7 million. Fuck you, game. Or it's, my god, the construction drone is $742,000.
Okay, maybe in this universe,
Hey, that's how
it's
much
just
a
the
bulldozer
reversal
costs.
of our world where the military-industrial complex feeds all innovation in the domestic sphere.
Yeah.
In this world, the domestic sphere is the leader of technological advancement, and the military just gets repurposed whatever we have left. So they just hook lasers to babysitter.
Actually, I also
The
think...
Spaz might make Mocker 5, the silent laser death bot.
Well, and also, I think actually the issue with the Spazmocker and why it's more
Totally not
expensive...
Arnold.
Yeah.
Why it's more expensive
Review
is
guy.
that they finally managed to figure out how to make the robots not kill humans. However,
Yeah, it was Spazmacher 1 through 3.
Yeah, Spazmacher 1 through 3 were complete failures.
Okay, but
Spazmacher 4
I'm
finally
very curious.
cuddled without exploding.
Yeah, I'm very curious why they would have, for the consumer goods section, they would have a picture of a giant spider attacking a school bus. For the consumer goods section.
Oh, yeah. Every single thing has its own little illustration. It's always something horrible happening to hapless people. You know, that cop being attacked by a fish yeti.
Wait, go back.
Yeah, for consumer goods, that's the picture.
I love that woman just like
Hey.
watching.
Yeah.
Is that a TV?
Or is that
Maybe
a TV?
it's a TV.
Maybe it's a
Yeah.
TV, yeah. That's not a very clear...
It's just a flat screen, man.
Just look over. It's a Thursday.
Or, the Teleplex TV system, it's only
Said
17
we were
grand.
close to stuff.
I know.
You said it and you
Well,
lied.
That's the end of the book.
The book is done.
So, any final thoughts on
No.
Dark?
No. Just move on to
Wow.
anything else.
So how about that Super Bowl?
Well, I will help you out then. The book I'm doing,
Yeah.
I don't need nearly that much time.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not interesting. It's not an interesting wreck
It's
like
not
this
good,
book.
bad.
No, this is every game, supplement you've ever read. It's basically like they got a theme, and everything in the book is just based on that theme. But otherwise, it's
Gotta make that work.
You're going to introduce it to the people who aren't
It is
sitting
yes.
at this table with us.
Yes, this one is
As
from-
you wave it
it's-
around madly.
Yeah, I'm waving it around. It's Vigil Watch, Warrens of the Ratmen from the Scarred Lands. I guess that's
the campaign.
Yeah, this is, of course,
Line.
this is back from the days when everyone and their mother was making a supplement
D20.
from D20, 3rd edition D20.
Yeah, 2002. It's
So
from
this is a White Wolf game, though, right?
Sword and Sorcery was the D20 branch of White Wolf.
Yeah.
See, this is when the flame war starts. This is when we shit on someone's
I used that book. actually.
religious text.
I remember using that book because I ran a Forgotten Realms game right when Third Ed came out, or right in 2002, 2003, and I remember using Ratmen as antagonists in that. So
Yeah, and okay, I've looked over this book, and it's really the whole point of it is, you know what? Like, let's take what rats do and make an entire scenario out of it.
okay,
It's a full thing like you would expect. You would have your setting set up, which is Scarred Land. It's basically another any fantasy world nation.
okay.
Except now but there's this dark swamp, and in it there's rat people who want to enslave all the other races. Blah de blah de blah. And I say, they have, and they set up the Ratmen, or actually Slytherin as they're called.
Yeah.
Which this totally came out after Harry Potter, so I have to assume they stole it from that.
Clearly.
Clearly, there's no other option.
What's this book? Yeah, nobody's going to read it.
Pretty much. Yeah. And so the first they have like different factions, and it's all the factions are like they're based on either cool things you want to see villains do, or let's take something rats are stereotyped for and make an entire faction out of it.
Oh, so it's very anti-rat bias.
Yeah, like okay, my brother.
It is non-him as far as we're concerned.
No, it's not. First of all, there's the diseased, which that's it. These are just rats that worship and have disease.
So are they like the anti-vaxxers of the...
They are totally the anti-vaxxers.
No, getting measles is good for you, so...
Yeah, or my favorites are the brown...
It gives you a prestige class.
Or my favorite are the brown... Or not my favorite, but one of my favorites is the brown gorgers. Their whole point... We like food, and we go and get it. In fact, and all prestige of this faction is who brings back the most food.
So every single hunter-gatherer society in history.
And there's another thing I love also. The art's very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like in some pictures, it's like the cover, big, like humanoid.
It's like the guy who did a lot of the...
white, World of Darkness stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
a lot of the
but in this one,
werewolf stuff.
it looks like, like giant humanoid rats.
Yeah.
Then there's like this one, it's like they just did rats the way they actually look, only upright them a little bit. Now this just looks like regular rats you would see in a freaking pet store, except they're wearing clothing. One's carrying a stick.
Dear so-called comedy experts, I'll have you know I've run a 5-year Ratman campaign set in the world of Ratatouille, where the brown Groja faction took over Paris.
All right, now I want to play.
Yeah,
You
but-
bastard!
By the way,
You
yeah.
don't know what you're talking
By the way, there's also
This is the
a.
last time you'll see any money from me.
I'm taking
Okay,
my
by the way.
$2.
Okay, then there are the desert-dwelling rats called the Daywalkers. Naturally.
Are they vampires?
No, they just dwell in the desert.
Okay.
Or there's the Foamers, which are the pirates.
Are
They're
they all-
ocean-going Ratmen pirates.
Are they foamers because they all have rabies?
Yeah, that's what I was
Or is
thinking.
it sea foam?
Yeah,
Do they
pretty
really
much.
like sea foam?
Flotsam?
Are they made out of mermaid corpses? Because that's what happens.
Then there's like
Oh.
the one thing that briefly interested me that's the group called the Forge Crawlers, which are the ones that create the weird items and traps and shit. Which yes, by the way, it's naturally rats traps, right? They go well together, so they have all these like
victims of traps.
yes. So it's essentially like rats are victims of traps, except for them who are the masters of traps.
Oh. It's like a Hollywood pitch meeting. What if there was a rat who trapped people? Yeah.
All right, we'll only give you $30 million.
And
Wait,
Saw.
this is how-
Ratatouille crossover began.
Actually, this is something like the dark reboot of Mouse Hunt.
But yeah, basically everything about this
Legacy
is
of
everything
Nick
about
3
that is this.
Saw.
They just took what do you think of with rats and made it just part of the book.
Speaking of Hollywood idiots, we have to talk about 50 Shades of Grey at some point.
Yes.
But
The press tour is my favorite
But,
thing that has ever
Don't
heard a little
worry,
bit
this
about
won't take long. I
Yeah,
promise.
that was fair.
But other than that, it is basically every scenario book you've ever seen. It has a section for the maps, which who gives a shit? You could use any map of any land.
Gamers
everywhere.
love maps. Maps are like
Yes, but there's
catnip
nothing
to
special.
us.
There's
Don't
nothing
you understand?
special about them.
Okay, yeah. If it's a good dungeon,
I
but
bet they're more special than.
And yes,
Death Valley
there's
Freakers.
there's a dungeon. You want to guess what it consists of? Traps,
okay.
treasure, and monsters.
That's
It's basically that's all that's it there, except they're
is it described as a warren?
it is totally described as a warren.
Yeah, warrens.
And there's prestige classes based on being rats. There's a prestige class that's an expert on being diseased. There's a prestige class for masters of poison. There's a prestige class called tail fighter. which is a prestige class of fighting.
It sounds like
with
a
your
Disney
tail.
cartoon, doesn't it? Tail fighter. Da, 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 da. Believe in your dreams. Tail fighter. Woo!
And it's then it goes into this whole all the third chapter is basically their activities, which here's what the rats do, which is always subvert, disease, poison, try to conquer for their dark gods.
Dear Tom, the traitor church. I thought you were one of the good ones. On the side of it, giant anthropomorphized animals
By the
that
way-
eat human corpses.
I was like, by the
But
way-
suddenly you're against Ratmen at 2, Tom.
Oh yes, by the way.
At 2.
Oh, by the way, their homeland is called in the book is called the Morning
We are
Marshes.
taking you off the listserv, sir.
Yeah, they call it the Morning
Your fur fitting
Marshes.
account has been revoked.
And it's once again you could replace it with any other dungeon with there's slave, but it's all like think of rats, it's all filth and disease and pestilence and human slaves that are sick and diseased and are poisoned.
Damn, you're starting to sound like a Frank Miller comic right there.
Yeah, they also give a section for playing as a Slytherin.
Yeah.
And this is like at one point they go, but of course, I mean, they're still living creatures, so they have free will to be whatever alignment they want.
I'm like, Drizzt, only I'm a rat. I have 2 scimitars.
I'm going to come over at the table at you, Ross. I
It's
swear
like,
to God.
I have 2 scimitars. Also, I have excellent hygiene, and I wear perfume.
Yes, because I am a renegade.
I'm a rogue.
My entire species is evil, except for me, and I have 1 scar over my eye like this.
God.
That I got that they gave
Are we
me.
going to have to listen to Ice-T talk about orc real estate values again?
It's a
We're lucky
rat.
we didn't wreck the goddamn car on the way back from Gen Con. It's the most boring thing I've ever conceived of Ice-T saying.
Yeah, and of course,
When Ice-T's talking and you want to take a nap, something has gone terribly wrong.
yeah. By the way, yes. By the way, I'm showing you. This is the tail fighter.
Tail fighter. Well, okay, now I gotta
Yeah,
read what
okay.
they can do. So the Tail Fighter has a 10th level prestige class with their special abilities: Tail Use, Tail Strike, Tail Shield, Tail Trip, Tail Strike at 1d6 instead of 1d4.
I hate you.
Tail Fend, improved Tail Shield, and Tail Strike at 1d8, Scorpion Stance, and improved Tail Trip. That's at level 10.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not feeling immersed because I don't think this is right unless there are at least 8 different schools of tail fighting.
What I love is that all those abilities are mutually exclusive. If you have a tail shield, I can't imagine you'd be striking people with it because you're blocking things.
But
with it.
where are the names?
You only
for
have
it,
one
Ross?
tail,
They're
like,
saying
what do you-
tail something. It's all part of the tail. We don't get.
Oh yes, and of course, in the poison and disease section, naturally they give, here's some new poisons and disease you can throw on the players. And it's
Dear
like,
horrible monster.
oh yeah, get this
What
one.
do you mean?
Yeah,
You
but-
can't strike with a shield tail. Of course you can. Humans have done it. I've attached numerous documents where shields are used for weapons throughout human warfare. And to say that a rat couldn't is specious, sir.
Okay, by the way, I like to
I shall be withdrawing my subscription immediately. You lost yourself a customer
Okay,
today.
for the diseases, like they list 5, and like you know that little game they play on Sesame. One of these things is not like the other.
Okay.
So we have black pox,
Okay.
the
Yes.
gray wasting, lung rot, scarlet shaking pox, flower fever. Flower fever.
So 4 of those sound like the songs on the next Pantera album. And like that one is like
A Monkeys tribute band.
it's a hippie rave trance band.
and for,
or
okay,
DJ.
and for comparison, I would
DJ
like.
Flower Fever.
And I would like to read 2 of the diseases for you, just to give you an idea. Like, okay,
Please let one of them
Yes.
be Flower Fever.
yes, but first, black pox. Blood begins to pool up and rot within the black pox victim, forming large pustules that ooze thick black septic blood. Very
The
virulent,
division is black, it's black.
very virulent, and often fatal in a few short days. This is probably the most fearsome contagion spread by the disease Slytherin. Thankfully, once you've had the pox, you become immune to it, one way or another. Flower fever. The flower fever, rarely fatal, seems more like a very bad cold or flu, debilitating the host for a week or 2 with weakness, congestion, headache, and vomiting. In addition, the victim begins to exude a strange and pleasant floral aroma that encourages others to inhale deeply, serving to spread the airborne contagion.
It's an air freshener disease.
I kind of fucking love that.
That's an Eclipse Face thing right there. Like,
We're losing Timmy.
Except it's not
The
a,
The
lilacs.
exurgents infiltrate Cincy.
except it's not really an exurgent. It's just a.
Put the nanobots in the Cincy.
Yeah, except it's not really an exurgent virus.
This is how the fall began.
Yeah, it's not really an exurgent virus because it's just like, ugh, I feel I've been a little sick for a couple of days. Like, but you smell delightful.
everyone gets it.
Yeah.
I can imagine their society a little bit now that I hear all these diseases. I bet like as the little disease rats are growing up, they're like being encouraged to learn their trade about how to make people sick and everything. So it's like the scouts, and so like your rank in scouts is like what disease. So you start at flower fever, and then by the time you're an adult, here's your badge for black pox. You have infected 3 villages. Good job.
Also, like the weapons, like they have like for the tail.
Once you get up to
for the
Vermin
tail
Scout.
fighter, of
Yeah,
course,
exactly.
Like, tail knife or the tail mace, which your weapon you strap on. The whip sword.
Yeah.
Which naturally, I'm sure someone I guess was playing Soul Calibur at the time.
Or Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Oh yeah.
The movie.
Yeah, and of course, and another thing.
Or they were watching Lash LaRue.
Of course, in the equipment section, what would be complete without a unique booze? My favorite is Slytherin Bog Wine. I feel I should read this one too.
I would buy that.
Like, the Slytherin distilled
I
their.
was walking through Brown Derby. And I saw some called
Fucking-
Slither Bog Wine. I'm like, well, I gotta try this.
Okay,
We'll give you chlamydia. Okay.
okay.
Yeah,
here's
give
the-
you flower
okay.
fever.
Yeah.
Here's the description. The Slytherin distill their puissant alcohol from the same black bracket fungus as the black wind poison. They pulp the fungus and mix it with a number of ingredients. Some say horse rat urine among them, and place it in large clay urns, which they bury in peat bogs. A year or more later, they unearth the jars and enjoy the potent black liquor.
Nice.
Wait, is it black?
Yeah!
Black!
Do they have horse rats? Do they? Is this a thing where like they just, all right, it's a rat land, so everything is rats. The people are rats. The pack animals are rats. Everything is rats.
Oh, by the way, they also, of course, have new spells. All of them, four of them, if it looks at, are just wound spells, like causing pain and wounding. And all of it, and of course...
Do any of them have black in the title?
Actually, no.
Oh.
No, they don't.
Well,
they have one
burn the book.
They have one new wondrous item, the slave bore, which is essentially, it's something you bore into their flesh and skull, and with your blood on it, and that person is then your slave until it's removed.
Can you perform trepanation on them, and then you're slave?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, this is rat golem.
Rat, see? Our golems are rats.
Please stop.
There's also the horse rat, which is...
You said this was
just
shorter.
It's just a large rat.
It's not short.
That's a horse rat, by the way.
We're still talking about it.
I know, I am.
Everything is rats. And flower fever.
Oh, and a mire worm, of course. The one non-rat thing. Which is because it's the swamp and it's poisonous and it's horrible.
It's just a skull with a tail.
I want to go lie down.
Need some bog wine? I think you may have a touch of the flower fever.
Oh, and of course, the different monsters are really just different types of Ratmen. Some these are we have the Mauler, which is our fighters, because they're like that.
Yeah.
So naturally, it's basically just this is okay. The red Ratman is slightly stronger and has more hit points than the blue.
Swapping. Yeah.
Than the blue rat. Or of course the stricken Ratman, which is the weird warped diseased rat, which has in this picture, by the way, has a lobster claw growing out of the top of his head.
Because.
Now, and also, I did notice
the art is fuck you.
Yeah.
Lobster claw.
There's a fish tail growing out of his arm. And my favorite, I did notice there's a human hand growing out of his back that has grabbed onto his tail.
Wait, he was one of those guys they did the cloning experiments on. There you go.
Yeah, and
I kind of want to have a horror movie based on that guy.
Oh, and of course they actually have an unseeing Ratman, which is a blind mole rat.
Ooh.
Except this one has a robe and a walking stick. So they're sentient.
And he teaches turtles how to fight?
Oh, man. Crossover. Yeah, I would like that.
But, yeah, it's really... I wish this was more... I mean, it's got some things that are just... I totally don't want to go back to 3rd edition D&D. Fuck that. But if I did, I would totally love to throw a couple of those things in there. But otherwise... It's basically by the numbers. Every book like this, ever released.
Yeah.
Just with a slightly different theme.
Fair enough.
I have to say that if Tom Church reads your giant Ratman book and gives it anything less than a glowing review, you have really dropped the ball. It is not exactly a hard target.
No, the one way I would totally use this is if I totally wanted to play that rogue Ratman who is obsessed with cleanliness. Is
the Drizzt rat.
A total gentleman. Yes, a tiny scar on his face that he got because they gave me this for betraying.
Yes, exactly.
They didn't execute me or anything.
I dipped my claws in Purell once. I was exiled from my village.
The thing is, Gail, we could do that as a base rated character. It came from an alternate Earth. Shut up.
God. It was all rats.
Yeah, it was rats all the way down. So speaking of more classic things, how about the 50 Shades of Grey?
Okay, so I read the article on Metafilter that linked to Defamer today.
Yeah.
And then I filled out a YouTube poll because I had a snow day. And I did one great. And I should preface this by saying I have no desire to see 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
The
because
book, aside from being hilarious and reading the reviews of it online, especially the ones that have GIFs, you should definitely do that. It encourages just flat out rape. It's terrible.
Yeah.
All the way across. But the fucking press for the movie is high performance.
Well, I meant to ask.
It's amazing.
Well, I haven't seen any of the other YouTube ones. The only one I saw was whichever one was on Gawker. Where it had the two and they answering the questions on iPad, and they said they couldn't. I've heard the other video said that the two leads can't stand the each
No,
other.
they hate each other. They hate each other. They hate the film. They hate the director. The director hates them, and everyone hates
the director.
the author.
Hates the author too.
Hates the author. Yeah. So I was reading it, and they just collect some of it, and I watched them all on YouTube. They're hilarious. So I'm just like, so they're getting these questions. What's the sexiest weather? Ellipses. Rain? Ellipses? Question mark. What is the sexiest thing about women? Hair. Period. What's the weirdest place you've ever been on a date? The first one answers, I don't know. The other one says, I've never been on a date. The author compares it to forced couples therapy whenever they have to do an interview. And it's just so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, from everything I've heard is that they hate the movie even more than the cast of Twilight hated Twilight. Which is saying something.
That's hard to do.
The author says, it was difficult, I'm not going to lie. We definitely fought, but they were creative fights, and we would resolve them. We'd have proper on-set Barneys, and I'm not confrontational, but it was about finding a way between the two of us, satisfying her vision, what she written, as well as my need to visualize this person on screen. But, we got there. And, oh, God, it just goes on and on and on. It was hilarious.
Yeah, because I haven't... Did you watch the other videos besides that one? Because my thing is, I was watching that first one. I couldn't tell if they really hated each other or if they were just fucking with the interview.
Describing the sex scene, I still can't look at it objectively or wrap my head around it. The parts of the movie that are difficult to watch were even more difficult and emotionally taxing to shoot.
Yeah, the guy. I think the thing is, I think it's somewhat of an act because both the leads at least realize, hey, I want to have a career after this. I have to distance myself from this fucking piece of
Jamie Dorian glamour.
Yeah.
Some of the Red Room stuff was uncomfortable. There were times when Dakota was not wearing much, and I had to do stuff to her that I'd never choose to do to a woman. Jamie Dorian glamour. The first day of filming was kind of an out-of-body experience. I got there and they said action. And I'm like, what the fuck's happening? I'm a dad. What?
Yeah, he says several other things too. Like, I went to a sex party, and then I went home and took a shower before I could see my wife and child. He was just totally. I don't know if he's like saying that for the sake of his wife, or he's just totally disgusted by it, or again he's like, oh shit, I don't want to come off as a sleaze for the rest of my career. But yeah,
your dignity is intact as much as it's all tucked away in a little flesh-colored bag.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that movie. I'm done with it. I already decided it's going to get horrible reviews, but make a crap ton of money.
Oh yeah.
It was an interesting evening. Then go back to my wife and newborn baby afterwards. I had a long shower before touching either of them. It's like, every time you watch these videos, it's like just watching them fucking unravel. What is it? So this is the reporter, Natalie Morales. What is it like shooting together? I mean, is there that instant chemistry? Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson. Brackets. Shake head no. So they did that simultaneously. Natalie Morales, no. You hate each other? Jamie Dornan nods head yes. Dakota Johnson studies ceiling. Natalie Morales, he's hard to work with. Dakota Johnson, loud exhale. I want them to supercut all of the interviews for this movie into a movie, and I will pay any amount of money to that. Because it is fucking hilarious.
I actually.
Did you guys have chemistry? Yeah, I mean, I presume we had chemistry because they made it happen with us. That's all in the editing, though.
Oh,
there's just some really good faith in their movie here.
Or in their acting ability. Like, just do close-ups. I don't need the other person on screen. I'll just do my... And look, I'll pretend.
If this is real for what they're talking about, I've never seen anybody hit the eject button so hard to throw them away.
Again,
Whether it was intimidating to take part in adapting such a popular novel. Dakota Johnson. I mean, yeah, a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see what they think. I guess.
I'm only doing this interview so I don't get fined.
Pretty much.
The other day, this woman came up and started shouting at me, Matt Bomer's the real Christian Grey, Dornan says, and I was like, Okay.
So we're gonna see lots of passion in this movie.
I just fucking love it.
I think I read the same discussion on Metal Filter that you did. And there was one theory on there that somebody said in the comments. I thought it's the thing is that everyone's talking about the BDSM content of the movie, which is not accurate according to the BDSM community. And it sounds like the thing is, it's not about that. It's about it's a fantasy about being fucked over by the white collar rulers and then gradually getting to your own, like the middle class insecure person. It's a fantasy about the insecurities of the white collar class. Like, oh, my bosses are fighting with each other. I hate my job. And they're just reenacting it in real life. So.
Okay. I have got to find this interview.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's from L. So this is written down.
Yeah.
Dakota Johnson asked whether he would see this movie because the book's so popular. Jamie Dornan. Mass appreciation doesn't always equate to something good. Think of Hitler. But I think in this case, it must. It simply must. But I don't want my family to see this movie because it's inappropriate. Or my brother's friends who I grew up with. I think they'd be like, blurg. Also, there's part of me that's like, I don't want anyone to see this movie at all. ... Just kidding. Period.
Wow. That is some great salesmanship.
When asked what to be excited about in the movie, I'm pretty sure the millions of fans who have read the trilogy will think there is enough sex. That is the sell point. That's the sell line.
Oh.
That's the tagline for the poster for these guys. Oh, God. No, seriously, it's fucking hilarious. Anytime they're ever together. I've never seen two people visibly detest each other so much. Especially actors who, are supposed to be able to,
Do you think that's a gimmick? Maybe just something to get people to like.
That was what
I'm not going to go see it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
But there are going to be people that are more on the fence than we are. So
yeah,
just the hate. You're right. The hate thing. So.
Yeah, the people because the main core of that movie, they're going to see it regardless. They're pre-sold, but they're trying to get people on the fence who see it. So they're like, hey, this is a train wreck of a movie. You probably want to see it just because you love seeing train wrecks. So
it's like they're both imitating Paul Rudd from Wet Hot American Summer at the same time. They're just constantly sighing and looking away. And,
passive aggressive, yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm doing this interview so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
Seriously, I killed an hour and a half just watching them be awful to each other.
Oh, God.
And laughing. So.
If I wasn't so hooked on Darkest Dungeon, I'd probably be doing that too. Because that's the new game that's out that is Lovecraftian. I can talk about it in the main podcast too, but basically, the premise of the game is that some ancestor says, "Well, you remember our family estate? Well, I dug up Lovecraftian ores underneath it. Can you go redeem our family? I'm gonna go kill myself. Bye." And so you show up in this hamlet, and then you hire adventurers to go out and cleanse the ruins. And the thing is, there's always new assholes to show up. I mean, adventurers who show up to go go out and clean the ruins out for you. So you're never at risk, but you can recruit 4 adventurers for free and send them into the dungeon. And then if they die or if they go crazy, you can fire them and get new guys. So you gradually build up wealth and power until you get a team that can actually, kill the monsters and save the day. So I don't know. I like it because it's not about adventuring. It's about the managing of adventurers, and they're basically mad, violent assholes who get syphilis and
so adventurers.
Yeah, who are possessed by demons, and it's a very.
I love the sheer variety of illnesses, both mental and physical, they can get.
Yeah, the developers basically took the madness tables from Call of Cthulhu, put a bunch of diseases on it, and added it in the game. You can't.
They put the DSM-4 in there. There's some weird stuff in that.
There's phobias for having too much light or not enough light, for fear of monsters, for fear of animals, for fear of people, for fear of death. If your hit points are too low,
please say there's a fear of clowns in there.
Probably. I haven't gotten it yet.
It's flagellant.
Yeah.
You'll only whip yourself.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Leaves.
You could be, or you can get deviant taste, so you won't be allowed in the town brothel. I sent my bounty hunter in there one week. It's like deviant taste. He's never again. for some reason, though, syphilis is not a barrier to entry to the brothel, and neither is being a leper. So,
Wait, what? Like that's definitely a barrier to entry.
yeah, no, one of the classes in the game are lepers, and they're basically warriors who tank damage. Be like, I don't give a shit, hit me, bro, and they do that.
How many people have you?
Well, I guess the world of the game is so freaking metal already that there's like life is no better in the village for the prostitutes.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like, they need money so bad, you go do it with the leper.
I mean, it takes
I'm not
1,500
Our games,
gold
like
to put
Mike
one guy
Magnolia
in
did
there.
a Cannibal Corpse cover.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to charge you my squishy rate.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I guess the stagecoach every week comes in with new adventurers, and I guess a bundle of new prostitutes. Just every week. Yeah, no, come on in. Yeah, it's better than the ruins out there.
Take the rest off to the college.
Yeah.
Well, how many adventurers have you lost so far?
Only 6 or 8, something like that.
just
Not that many. Like, a bunch of them were at level 1, and you just don't give a shit about
it's only until you get 2 to 2 dozen you kind of realize maybe my life choices are bad.
No, it's their life choices.
It's fun to go on these, like, hero runs where you just, like, get 4 guys right off the stagecoach, send them in a dungeon with no supplies, and see how far they can get.
God damn it!
Like, no torches, no food. Good luck. Yeah, good times. But yeah,
that didn't work. They were pigs.
yeah.
How many times is like we gotta stop for food? Like, dude, it's been like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the food, the eating is a random event, and if you don't do that, you go crazy and take hit point damage, of course. If you go through the dungeon, you take stress, you go more mad. Basically, everything in the game will make your characters go more insane. And when they get to 100 stress, their test is resolved, or their will is resolved or tested, and if they fail a test, they can become selfish or paranoid, and they start screaming at other people or abusive. Oh, you scored a critical hit on the enemy. Good job, asshole! And like every time you're
aggressive towards each other.
yeah, they can. And every time your guy yells at someone else, they take more stress. So it just turns into this chain reaction where all your guys just go sinking, falling down. So yeah, great game. Very very addictive.
And something else, I because you pointed this out early when you head back to Kickstarter, the artwork is very Hellboyish.
Oh
so
yeah, no,
they
they
looks a lot
totally
like,
just ripped that off.
yeah, it looks a lot like Mignola's work. So
which is fine. I like it. I dig it. But yeah, I mean, we haven't even got down to the big news again, which I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, which is the Super Bowl.
Left Shark,
Shark, and Right Shark.
And that fucking throw.
Yeah.
I've never been happier to have Twitter in my life when that halftime show was on.
Oh god, how badly did it explode?
It was hilarious. Everything was just so funny.
I mean, because it wasn't just Left Shark, Right Shark. There was The More You Know with the Katy Perry star.
Oh yeah, The More You Know.
The Wii strap
The
on
Eye of the Tiger Lion?
the only time a lion will ever be at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
On a lion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or what was the other meme I loved?
She's like a Final Fantasy summon.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
No, the first costume. I'm not a Katy Perry fan, but that was actually amazing. I just sat there going, "Go for it!"
I was glad Missy Elliott was there.
Yeah.
I just wanted Katy Perry to leave, though. She looked like she was just rushed the stage and didn't belong.
She belonged in the beach ball set. Like that was about the one part she really.
I was sad she wasn't wearing the trash can suit from the video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But the BC, but who stole the show?
Yeah. Left Shark and Right Shark, and then of course I mean the ninjas. Like I know when we were watching it, we were pointing out, oh the ninjas, they're the ones moving the lion, and then the wave ninjas. I'm a wave.
Yeah, it really turned into
How
a
do you
middle
get
school
that job?
pageant there in the middle.
Yeah, that one kid who was a tree.
Yeah.
He got his dream job. He's a tree in the Super Bowl. Like, how do you get that job?
Billy Eichner's was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, afterwards, he's like, are we done? Are there any gay bars in Arizona? And then Shark Guy from Super Bowl.
I actually, if you look up Left Shark now, you actually find out the name of the dancer who was the left shark, and they claim they're like, no, this was intentional. We wanted the guy on the right to be synchronized, and the guy on the left was just having fun.
No, like you were covering that up so badly.
But apparently, he's been in movies. He's been like a Katy Perry backup dancer for years now. He's like Asian American, and he's like apparently has good sweet dance moves. He just chose not to do it. He's just our hero. But yeah.
My God, so that game would have killed me had I had like any dog in that race.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I just died.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, I don't watch football except the Superbowl basically. But yeah, it was an actual game, like unlike last year.
Last year was
we always start just watching the commercials.
Yeah.
But this one, like, it actually started being a game.
Yeah. Especially, it was a game, and of course the commercial was really good too. Especially,
yeah, they were pretty
well. We're all depressing as shit.
That's what I mean.
Oh, God.
We're all going to die. Mortality is a curse. You are dying from the moment you were born, nationwide.
That Oswald after the Victoria's Secret commercial said, "I would have loved it if one of those lingerie models had said, but I can't wear Victoria's Secret because I'm dead."
Oh no! Actually, one of my favorite.
And everyone, no one has legs left. It is now.
Or that one health insurance commercial with Bryan Cranston.
Oh,
Walter
White.
That was
funny.
Good. No, the one that killed me, and just because I was sitting here going, "Why are you trying to make this positive?" I have no idea if it was a car or something, or just for NASCAR, but. The
dad ones?
Huh?
The dad car commercials? Like, you will be a good dad if you buy
No.
Oh, God. That was like 2.5 minutes long.
This was the guy who was the NASCAR driver and talking about his family, but they're playing catch in the cradle over it. And I'm sitting there going, are you trying to make this positive? This is about missing his son's life, you bastard.
I will admit, I actually enjoyed the one they did with Liam Neeson.
The
mobile game.
That was probably my favorite.
But that's the other big thing is, where are they getting the funding to put on these grand commercials for these shit-ass, horrible...
Clash of Clans made $1 billion.
But they're fucking mobile games.
They made $1 billion.
$1 billion. Oh. You can do a lot of things with $1 billion.
And apparently they
Aaron, what's the stupidest thing you ever did as a kid to entertain yourself? I bet it was like playing with the thermostat knob or pressing a button or something. Nowadays, kids play games and they find a big red button that says "Buy more gold" on mom's phone, and they go. And there's kids everywhere across America doing it. And that's the people who are doing it by accident giving them money. Like, there's tons of people,
the people who are addicted
idiots
to this.
and are addicted to it.
They're games for people who don't play games. Like that we do.
They have no idea. They have no idea what a Skitter box is.
Or like that fucking,
so they just dive in.
Like
a guy who skipped weed and went straight to heroin.
Like that fucking Dungeon Keeper mobile game.
Oh, yeah.
That is the worst.
Oh, yeah, the reviews of that are hilarious to watch.
I love it. It's like 24 hours to dig out one square. But you can totally speed it up with gems.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, they're Skinner boxes, and it's $1 billion.
I just want to be in the world of that game. Just these hourly paid goblins. Like,
fucking unions ruining our dungeon.
Passively tinking on the wall. Yeah, we'll get it eventually.
Or union.
Shit, I got a break.
Oh my God.
Oh, but yeah, overall it was fine, but yeah, that last pass though, just everybody.
You know what? I am a total nerd gamer all the way. Even at that brief moment, I was into sports stuff.
Yeah, I was a
sports interest guy.
Yeah, sports interest guy.
As I said, and
God.
I'm like, you don't pass the ball at 1st and goal on the 2nd down.
Although
you could just get two guys to grab Marshawn Lynch and just heave him over the Patriots.
Marshawn Lynch is an animal. Yeah. He has an insanely low turnover rate for running the ball as much as he does. He can plow through anything. And then the Seahawks line was dominating all. Wilson had like 15 seconds to throw at certain times. They were completely outmatching the Patriots on line of scrimmage. But the Patriots have Tom Brady, who is throwing balls in practice to Tom Brady's receivers. So they have an amazing secondary that whips their asses every time.
Yeah.
But he's on the 1 yard line. Oh my God! It doesn't make any sense.
second down. They had chances to do this. He would just
No, the commentating was right. Like if I have Marshawn Lynch on my team, I'm on the first.
You know what
the 1 yard line, and it's second down, and I run it all, and I don't win the Super Bowl. So be it.
But the thing is, the guy who really was supposed to make that call, he died. That was the problem.
Yeah, he died, and he didn't have insurance.
Yeah, and actually, Keith Olbermann
Yeah.
on his show actually and then showed the interview with the Seattle coach of why would you throw? And the response he gave was like, well, we realized we did a play, so we had to do a play. And they kept interspersing it with, that one Miss America contestant. Like, I feel our education system is...
I like the Onion. Bill Belichick cries star in joy after winning Super Bowl. It's kind of like his black eyes for
I like Belichick praise to his own God.
Although my favorite meme out of this still remains, somebody cut in the television from The Simpsons, and with Bart at the remote saying, "Here, you can pinpoint the exact moment where his heart rips in two," and it goes back to Marshall, where you see his face going, "Oh."
Yeah, that's gonna be used in memes forever. It's like I saw one the other day, like his freeze frame of his face, just in total anger. It's like when you realize that worksheet you just finished one side of is double sided.
My favorite meme so far has been Left Shark with his flippers crossed.
Yeah.
And it just says that Shark about to drop the hottest mixtape.
Actually, there's a good dual one that I saw that had him go where his head was down, his fins were off to his side. Did I forget to turn the oven off? No, I didn't. I'm a fucking shark.
I was actually doing one for Jaws, like the thing about the shark. It has great moves.
Oh yeah, there was a great. Somebody did put a GIF on there, which was the we're gonna need a bigger boat with it flipping around in place of.
So
Bruce.
I really want to see Bill Belichick now with the stars for 50 Shades of Grey. I would watch it. They could just live feed that for days, and I would watch.
Oh,
but didn't the guy
have the t-shirts now?
Yeah, of course. But the guy who caught that interception, like, wasn't he just like a nobody, like just undrafted or unsigned or whatever? I
don't remember.
Yeah, he was. I
it
heard
doesn't
some
matter who caught. Really, it doesn't.
He's like the hero of the day. I mean, he's basically that's the best moment of his entire life. I mean, it's all downhill from here, but like, it's not bad.
Yeah, at that point, there's people saying there's no way that Seahawks are ever going to live this down. Just get rid of the team, get rid of the coaches, start again.
Well, I'm a Rams fan, so
yeah,
you don't give a shit.
Obviously, I don't give a shit. But like, had
it's
I been a fan of
bro.
either team, I would have just had a heart attack by the third
God.
quarter.
Oh my
Not
God.
to mention the last.
Yeah, if you had money on that, yeah.
Oh no, there's a huge amount of different reactions from Seahawks fans, which go from somebody just falling back into a seat in almost a catatonic state to the worst I've seen, somebody picking up and throwing furniture.
Oh no.
Grunge 2.0 was born that day.
No, a lot of domestic abuse happens because of sports, and I'm sure a lot of it happened that night.
No, I would love that. I would actually love to have a hidden camera on the team arriving back in Seattle.
Yeah.
Just we landed on a mountain.
Yeah.
We're sneaking them in unmarked vehicles.
Dressing them up as homeless people. You approach from the northwest.
But what,
like the Great Escape.
But sports is about life lessons. I mean, that's what real sports taught me. It's like Rudy or something. It's all about. What was that movie about the guy who was one of the hobbits?
That was Rudy.
That was Rudy. Okay, yeah, that's what it's really about. So what life lessons can we
on the
get from
bright side, considering the massive head trauma all of them have experienced, they're all going to forget about this in like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be like it never happened.
Except the kickers. I mean, they're the one guys.
Yeah, except the kickers. They are the holders of memory. They're like the kid from The Giver.
Yeah. Yeah, you think they have the
Bill
easiest job?
Belichick is picking some kid out of some cloistered community.
You will carry
You are the one who knows the truth.
You will all carry our shame forthwith.
And kick 40 field goal goals.
Yeah. The onion. Also, I like the onion. Super Bowl confetti made of shredded concussion reports.
Oh my god!
It's funny because it's true.
I do find interesting the allure. Like I give zero shits about the NFL all year until that game.
Yeah.
Then I briefly give a shit.
Yeah.
And totally forget.
Well, their marketing worked.
Well,
yeah,
it
just
Well, again,
we would probably get into it if we developed a fantasy football team league like the league, which
But I will say, I
don't
have enough hours.
I think the best part of the game was my good friend Jay, who came down from Kansas City to barbecue for us.
Yeah.
Champion barbecuer.
Yeah, barbecue was good.
He had some good meat.
That was the highlight of the game for me.
It's like you got to eat really good food.
Yeah.
So.
What more could you ask for life? Friends, food, and depressing commercials.
And my cat totally attaching herself to you.
Yes. It was the one.
I'm almost certain it's the. Oh, he's the one who's allergic.
Yes, I am allergic to cats.
And she's then she curled up next.
I think it was more because I was at that time I was on the couch and nobody was sitting next to me, so like there was more space there.
And you weren't.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I don't give a shit about you. Please, stay. Yeah,
please. I own a lizard.
Yeah,
I have the same reaction to him that he has to me.
Yeah,
cats recognize that. Affection is the best defense.
Yeah, but then allergies. Yeah, it's a catch-22. A conundrum. So a Gordian knot, if you will.
Cut it with a sword.
Yeah, so that will probably be something to discuss in the next episode. But this has been After Hours episode 2. All hail Left Shark. I hope this has been enlightening, and you guys have learned quite a bit about Darktek.
Yeah,
and Ratmen.
And Ratmen.
Who
are named after one of the houses from Harry Potter.
And valuable life lessons.
Well, that would have made the Harry Potter movies different.
My father would hear about this. Flower fever.
Yeah, that's what Harry Potter needed. Less nuance.
All right. We'll see
Thank you,
guys
Caleb.